To tell them that she will be resuming now that her suspension is over, despite the court order that reinstated her earlier. The clerk of the National Assembly replied that she hasn't kind of like been cleared, or she wasn't cleared to resume because the case is still in court. And primarily, what many told her to do before things got so escalated to this level was that she needed to apologize. Just apologize to Akpabiole that, you know, he didn't sexually harass you, right? And she said no, because it happened. And that is a separate case from her suspension. So she's not apologizing for what happened. Anyway, in the twist of events, and I believe it is because there is another rumor, which happened to be true, that she will be attempting to resume today again, this time with thousands of supporters who were already being seen around Abuja. So the next thing that happened was that the deputy clerk of the house quickly made a video, probably when they heard that multitude are headed their way. So the deputy clerk of the Senate, right, made a video showing the world, and they uploaded that very fast, showing the world that she could resume now if she wanted to resume. She wouldn't need to bring all this crowd again to the National Assembly. But that didn't work, because they still ended up with multitudes that created a lot of drama, part of what we're going to see tonight, or where we're going to start from tonight. But first, when they tried to stop her ahead without telling her not to bring crowd, so they made a video, and the video was that, oh, we have unsealed your office, you can resume now. But it didn't work, like I said. This one.
To unseal Senator Natasha Akpoti's office, I, Alabiade, the Deputy Director, Sergeant at Arms, hereby unseal the office. The office is hereby unsealed. Thank you. The order is to unseal.
You get? Uzoma, I just seen your comment about the background. It is too dark, Abi, but it is on purpose, okay, to see if I could reduce distractions from the background and what have you. And you concentrate on my face and what I am saying, right? So psychologically, right, it means that you are likely going to listen to what I am saying more when there is not too much distractions in the background. I could put some, but it's on purpose, okay? It's not too dark. It is meant to be dark. And then you can see my hands, my face, and then my mouth, right? Don't worry. It's been like that there for a while, by the way, okay? But we can always mix it, like, you know, white today, black tomorrow, some other visuals the day after, right? Do you understand that now, right? Okay. Now let us continue. Like I said, that video didn't do the magic, because ourselves, our supporters, were already on their way to the National Assembly. And what happened next is just the fraction of what really kind of like to be so extended, okay? But from this, which is also an a bit of a stretch watch, okay? The first part, when they approached that National Assembly with Natasha and our supporters, this time probably coming for the broke. And it was already kind of like sure that Akpabiole and his camp, without the apology they demanded, desperately demanded, they were already probably like worn out. So they've bowed to the pressure even before a crowd arrived, but they still arrived anyway. Let's go to the Abuja. What happened this noon?
Natasha just came out. Give us 10 minutes. We never set up myself. No way to set up. I don't tell now when we go join, I'll go join now. We'll let you know when we want to join. I'm ready for where to set up now. I read
audience now
that our office has been opened. I even saw a video where the clerk was opening the doors to the office itself. So as at this moment, I have not been officially communicated to, because I expect an institution like the National Assembly should have some administrative procedures and processes whereby communications will be written. The last written communication we got from the clerk was that which says that we are not allowed to review because our also mentioned that it was within the purview of the Senate to legal suspension. So, but we're here today, and I'm just going to take a few minutes to visit our office. Those of you who want to come, it's your office, it's your right to be there, just as it's your right to be here in the People's Parliament. So, but I'll ask you all to be cordial and calm. Okay, your voices have been heard, your actions speak very loud, and I tell you, Nigerians are very proud of you. I'm proud. Our heroes, our ancestors are proud of you. So I'm just going to walk in. You can stay here right under the arm and the mace. This is the People's Assembly. When you are here, no one can hurt you, no one can attack you, no police at all. Your rights are much more than that of the police, as long as you are law-abiding. Even at that, there are civil ways to, arrest, pension. But I trust that you'll be well. Thank you so much. I'll be going into that office. Those of you who want to come, fine, but the rest of you can remain here.
Natasha, Joe.
Because for me, anything that I do, I follow the law. They are the ones who are unlawful. Especially Nigerian police, that they are killing their people. Yes. Imagine the deputy inspector general of police was attacked, and the policeman was killed in his house in a room. The Nigerian police is not show this one. It is to unarmed people that are coming to discuss a nation that they are busy. Anyway, Nigerian police, you see them here, but their own people are being killed. They are not doing anything. And here, okay, you don't show
No, that is what our law enforcement agents are about. It is about hampering on and victimizing lawful citizens who are harmless, while non-kidnappers and bandits are holding press conferences in Katsina. The officers that are here, how much is their salary? How much are their pension? Some of them are even being owed salary. But they are here to uphold lawlessness. They are here to uphold dysfunctionality and the breaking of the law. I am a lawless citizen. Senator Natasha is duly elected by her people. She is here to resume. She will resume without any condition. This parliament is not Fabio's house. It is the people's parliament. Natasha was elected the same way as Fabio was elected. And she will resume and continue plenary. And 2027, by God's grace, when we reform INEC and fix election, Fabio must go. Politicians like Akpabio will be retired from this country so that Nigeria can move forward. All this one,
I just saw you your family.
You should introduce yourself first.
My name is Alaji Mamman Abdozak. I am the spokesperson for Senator Violence in the Blue Land Initiative. The senatorial district in which Senator Natasha is representing. You can see that even some of the people are here on solidarity. But I have a direct consequence of the actions and inactions of the 10th Assembly. Okay? Our people have been denied, have been treated below standard. In Sassi, Ababia have demonstrated an overwhelming capacity.
But plenary is yet to resume. Plenary is yet to resume.
But other senator, is Ababia entering here? Ababia is coming to our office, vice the president of the office. Okay. So what we are saying today is that the justice that have been meted on the people of Kogi Central has to be addressed.
Thank you.
The purpose of governance is security and welfare of the people. In 2025 budget, Kogi Central is started some projects for our people. Where are the projects?
All right.
Our senator is not given opportunity to be heard.
Thank you.
Isn't it time to say somebody wants to sleep with me?
There is no more interesting visuals, right, from Nigeria than to see a Nigerian in front of the camera, right, ranting about injustice. Oh my God, right? They will be so real enough that you'll be like almost everyone you're talking about injustice, right? They'll be so real, so tensed that you'll be like, how many of you feel like this about the way these rogues are running or ruining this country? That if you have a chance like this, you can, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, it doesn't last, so to say. But Akpabiole and his gang, they are having the taste of what Yeye Bello, the white, what do they call it? The white rat of Kogi, Yeye Bello. Natasha is kind of like a different breed to what is expected of the regular female politicians in Nigeria, so to say. So She's rich. She's got a rich husband, and you know what I mean? She's a lawyer, and somehow she is loved by our own people. They could travel from anywhere and then at least show support. So Akpabioli and his gang have been traumatized by this Natasha stuff. And it is because of the level of, lack of law and order or rule of law in a country that brought about this national and international disgrace. Even though they say you can't really shame the shameless. But these are very much like, shameless people that have brought so much shame upon Nigeria by just being rudderless, lawless. A female senator accused the head of the Senate of sexual harassment. The first point of call will be the police that will then launch an investigation into both parties. This is not about senators' hierarchy or so. No. It's not about that. It is an allegation that if it is found to be untrue, he was meant to be punished for it. And if they found that the allegation is also true, Akpabioli must be punished for it. Rule of law. That everyone is equal before the law. That's how it should be. Or rather, immediately the allegation was made, Akpabioli and his gang put up their own media defense to persecute her in the media. They did a lot. But somehow, he just feels like that's a very stubborn thought, right? In your closet, your WC, that won't just flush. That very strong thought. Now, you would call it thought, not shit. That very strong shit. That just won't flush. That's how she has, because she has become that kind of like, fish bone that stuck to your throat. You have to be very careful, or you're going to hurt yourself even more. She has become that kind of like dog bone that is tied to the neck of the dog. As much as dog loves bones, it is just not hittable, so to say. So the most plan is to ensure that possibly somebody like that should never come back to their Senate. But to her, well, until then, right? But for now, he's not going to bow. He's not going to apologize because he's done nothing wrong. They've already muddled up the entire investigation. It's already more or less like a systemic protection for Akpabioli. However, while the crowd were outside dragging with the security, the police, underpaid policemen. So while they were there dragging, right? Others got kind of like into the building. By then, there was another video, quick one, to at least show that no, Natasha is, our office is ready, everything is fine, and blah blah blah. So she got into the office, and then she spoke. That's the second clip you are going to watch. Let's go back to Dr. Puja.
Which press is this?
Sorry?
Which press? See this image. Getting where I'm talking about. This side was slightly open. You would have not to see me working on your desk to just prove that your office is functional, ma'am. Sorry, stressing. Just to prove that you are back.
Look this way.
It's actually
Give her a chance.
In retrospect, it's actually amazing how much we have had to face.
Let's give our public.
It's actually amazing how much we have had to face and survive in the past 6 months. And most of it happened to the full glare of Nigerians. From the unjust suspension to the recall. We survived the recall. We survived the blockage of roads and waterways into Kogi that we had to fly in through using the helicopter. We survived the blackmail from the so-called woman from the crazy lady on Facebook. Yeah, you know, it's amazing what we had to survive. And I give God Almighty the glory and my deepest appreciation to the good people of Kogi Central, Kogi State, and Nigeria at large. My husband, my love, if you see this, I love you dearly. In short, I pray all men support their wives as much as you have supported me. And my children, thank you for your sacrifices. So in everything, it just shows that sometimes it's good to put the institutions to test. We can't cow down in the face of injustice. No one is more Nigerian than us. Senator Pabio is not more of a senator than I am. He's not a governor of this place. And he treated me as if I was his servant or I was a domestic staff in his house. It's very unfortunate that at this time, after so many years of democracy, we would have a National Assembly be run by such dictatorship. It's totally unacceptable. As for me, I'm glad to be here. And even though we have been illegally suspended, no day have I hesitated in effectively carrying out my duties as a senator of Kogi Central to the very best of my capacity. I have never, no day went by without me looking out for opportunities, either in terms of bringing infrastructure or projects to my people, and even jobs wherever I could, because I didn't want them to suffer, you know, the neglect and the vacuum that was created by this injustice. So I thank people like Auntie Obi, Priscilla, Sister Aisha, Mama P, Peter The Rock, and many others, Dr. Abiola, Yemi of Enough is Enough, Uncle Femi Falana, I mean, men and Nigerians I can't even call. I mean, I've read your posts, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, His Excellency Sarah Key, I mean, many people who have lent their voices, thank you, and even political parties, Labour Party, ADC, I saw their statements, and my beloved PDP, thank you so much for standing up, Nigerian Bar Association, Nigeria Labour Congress, I mean, a whole lot of voices, it just pulled through, and I think that's the pressure that the Senate President saw and realized that, you know what, he just can't keep pushing against the will of the people. Yeah, and the media, thank you for being fair, thank you. Even though at the time I did observe 3 months ago there was some silence, like, and I understand sometimes intimidations can come, and you all have families to cater for, and unfortunately we are at a country today whereby pretty much lives mean nothing. So I don't blame you, members of the media, who at a particular time withheld publishing facts as they happen. But I just want to let Nigerians know that the future is bright. We just can't give up our hopes. Our democracy is evolving, and I trust that every day leading into 2027, we will be able to put out actions that will be worthwhile, because patriotically we have a country to save. Thank you all so much for your love and support.
So she fought a good fight, yeah? Or she is fighting a good fight. Enough that probably Akpabiole would have to keep dealing with her, at least from now on until the year 2027, you know? So, but let's leave Natasha and move a little bit to RAT. Just yesterday, the Ronokus were having, what is that called again? Temper tantrum. Simply because Peter Obi wished RAT a happy birthday and then reacted to our birthday kind of like wishes that if you, instead of you buying her anything for her birthday, he would love you to put the money in a designated bank account. And the money will be used, only realized will be used to complete the Nigeria's National Library in Abuja. So reactions followed like, man, you are not somebody who is just like a private person. Your husband is the president of the country. He has budgeted twice more than like 10 billion naira for the same National Library that was never spent. Like, what was that? So Obi said, we are finished. Now that we are finished is what triggered them, right? That, and it was kind of referring to the fact that Nigeria has money to buy, private presidential jets, buy yachts, spend money on cars, houses for public officials. That if things have gotten this so bad enough that Nigeria have to, or the first lady of Nigeria had to like raise money to complete National Library, that's a shame. That was his reaction, among many others. Anyway, RAT has come out to tell us that, well, it doesn't really matter anymore. People heeded a call, and she raised a substantial amount of money. 20.5 billion naira raised in just 1 week. So she made the announcement, just so people know that, yeah, whatever you feel doesn't really matter anymore. The money is here. So she would then go on and complete the National Library. The fund is called RAD Education Fund. Something like that. That's the name. Remi Tifnumbu Education, 65th Education Fund. 65th birthday education. What am I even saying? Anyway, shall understand that money raised because of her 65th birthday. She didn't want any party or gift. Just give me money to fix the National Library. And she told us she's got what she wanted. Now we can now look out for a brand new National Library, right? And then we can put this behind us after all.
So we have 20,456,188,924.93 and it's still growing. Trust me, it is still growing. This.
Do you understand? So we actually really grow to God knows how many other billions. Do you know that that 20 billion raised, obviously from themselves, all right? That 20 billion raised is even more than the monthly allocation to the entire allocation to states like Ogun State. That's a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money. And this is coming from, you know what I mean? It's not coming from you, ordinary people. You know what I'm talking about. It's coming from those who have already sought a favor or benefited from this largesse, jamboree, and the rest. Ministers, commissioners, governors, they are those who put the money there. If indeed there is 20 billion in that bank account. But yeah, maybe they can do more than just fixing the National Library. I don't know. Like steal the public fund and then use part of it to do charity. And that's a very good thing. Yeah? No. But more will leave that a bit. We are still in Abuja. Okay. Last night, the full borough met with Tifnumbu. I want to believe officially for the first time since it was suspended. And according to him, he just came to say thank you and also to reassure Tifnumbu that the peace is managed to help them secure in River State shall be permanent because he has finally settled with his principal. That's what he called them with the wiki. His principal. That moment here.
Your Excellency. How are you? Congratulations. Good night, sir. Good night, or whatever is good about it. I'm seeing. So how are you? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice.
I just finished a brief meeting with Mr. President. I'm here to say thank you, especially for his intervention. We all knew what was happening in River State, the political tension in River State, and if he had not intervened timely, nobody knows what would have happened in the state. And for me, it was saving the situation. I'm here after the lifting of the suspension to appreciate him and also tell him we're ready to hit the ground running. For the state, I believe that my coming back after the lifting of the suspension is a new and stronger hope for our people, because the government is a government about the people, it's a government that believes in peace. So our working is not just for the people, but also with all the parties, the assembly members, the National Assembly members, elders, everybody this time around are working for the betterment of our dear states.
Àmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí ó dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tí ọpọlọ rẹ̀ yòrò tàbí ẹni tí Ọlọ́run fi síbi aláṣà àwọn ọpọlọ rẹ̀ bí ọpọlọ ikú. Ó jọ mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ tọpọlọ rẹ̀ ò tó nǹkan rárá tàbí ètò wà ń bẹ kó má tiẹ̀ wúlò mọ́ rárá. Àmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀.
So that's a full barrel. So to go and say thank you, I mean, that is not out of place, is it? Right? To go and say thank you, sir. I have learned my lesson. Okay? I will never get out of the line anymore. Okay? So that's the reassurance you need, sir. I just came here to give it to you, sir. Thank you. It's not out of place, is it? It's expected. Understanding all that transpired in the last 1 year at least in River State. Where Wike is on a winning streak, by the way, like politically, corruptly, and even when it comes to this nepotism of a thing, as well as the impunity, the abuse of power, the brazen abuse of power that you see on display every now and then. It's like he's on a winning streak. However, he assured his audience in Abuja today on why he is unbothered. The only person that could complain about what he is doing, it's not you. It will be his appointer. That's the word he used, my appointer, which is Tifnumbu. Yeah, he was somewhere in Abuja where he went to commission the plan to build 300 300-bed hostel for law students in Abuja, law school rather, in Abuja, and then construct the road that will link the place and all that stuff, sha. So we was talking about that in Abuja. And also, by the way, his son, Jordan, is getting called to bar. So he's going to be a lawyer and possibly become a judge, like his mom. So we saw with the Wikes today as well, when he was filing out with the, what do they call them? League of Benchers. Now that's League of Nigeria, Senior Law, blah, blah, I don't know. But League of Benchers, they are very, very much like prominent when it comes to, the judiciary, the legal profession and all that in that contraption. With the Wikes is one of them. An influence that is believed to he has exploited so well. And having money plus that is like unstoppable. Now let's first stop in Abuja. Yeah, it's Jordan and his pa with a Wikes. Then Jordan and his mom. What's her name again? No. Here with a Wikes as a member of the League of Benchers in Nigeria. So if they explain Nigeria to you and you understand it, you are not upset, angry, then obviously they lied to you. Okay? With a Wikes never practiced law in his life. He was called to bar in 1998, meaning, he graduated from law school, I think, in 1997 or 1996. He got called to bar in 1998. Then he became a local government chairman in 1999. Then he became chief of staff to Rotimi Amechi in 2007. And then he became a minister of the Federal Republic in 2010 or thereabouts until 2015 when he became governor until 2023. Today, he's a minister from 2023 to 2027. But he's right there with the senior justices. So these are justices of different courts, the Supreme Court and all of that. So they call them League of Benchers, I think. So how did he become that? Well, story for another day. Anyway, so his wife also, right, became a judge. He also never really practiced law like that. Because they said before you become a senior advocate, you have to have practiced the Nigerian law and have possibly participated and won some serious cases in 10 years. Do you understand? Like you must have appeared before the Supreme Court of the country and possibly argue case there and even win as part of the criteria that will make you a senior advocate. But in Nigeria, the politicians have infiltrated that judiciary so well that their wives, their children are being drafted in, put on the queue to become judges, even magistrate court judge, as an entrance. You get an entrance into this queue. So in few years, their children, their wives, and the rest are judges. So when election comes, there are those who are going to put out the lists of those who are going to be tribunal judges, appeal court judges, up to the Supreme Court. That is called state capture. Now, with a wiki, it's more or less like unstoppable in that regard. And the only person that could stop him is Tifnumbu. And right now, he said Tifnumbu is very happy with him. Yeah, I was talking at an event, right? Before I even show you that. Someone is on social media right now, especially on Twitter. I can't remember the name. He's asking any of you who were law students in Nigeria, who went to law school in Nigeria, rather, that ever met this boy in any of your classes, right? At least I think you have to do 1 year law school now, Abi, before you get called to bar. Is that not it? Yeah? Exactly. So you have to spend a year or two or so in the law school before this is going to be like after you have graduated from your university degree and all that. So you have to still do, I think, a year in law school before you, and if you pass, you get called to bar. Now, they are saying that if you have the picture of this boy attending lecture in law school, either in Abuja or anywhere, you may be able to win over 100, what do you call it, 100 pounds. I think the guy was saying that I will give them 200,000. Others were saying, no, I will add 100. And in total, you are likely going to win like $1 million chicken change just by just sharing either pictures or videos of this boy attending classes. Because he's going to get called to the bar if he hasn't already, right? But his father, with a wiki in Abuja, telling them why he's not worried, because Tifnumbu is quite happy with the way he is running things. And then, yeah, about the roads and this or that, if I do hospital, if I do school, if I do road, this is what our people need. While you are not doing hospitals, you are not doing schools. You are doing roads that are, and then you are building or renovating all that are overinflated, obviously, right? But it is very wicked. Tell me when you are tired. I can stop this, okay? It's a long watch.
For the people of Nigeria, and in particular, the federal capital territory. So many people have accused us of constructing roads. I said, well, that's one thing good. At least you have identified that something is going on. Now, I've always said, if it is on that basis, and we finish providing the road networks in Abuja, I will leave office. Another person comes and takes up another major area. Abuja would have been a different thing by now. Abuja would have been a different thing by now. You can imagine the roads were doing if it was done before now. What would have happened? But let me assure you, we are not only concentrating on roads, we're also concentrating on education, we're also concentrating on transportation, we're also concentrating on how we are going to make the youth to be very, very engaged. We also concentrate on health. And like I said, and people should understand this. I know some of us will not understand the process of government. People should realize that we had a lot of problems when we came in. But because of our determination, we believe that no sector will be left untouched. No sector will be left untouched. But what I would appeal to everybody who is assigned the responsibility to make sure you live up to expectation. Everybody who knows me know that my friend, my brother, my sister is one who is committed to work. I don't take excuses at all. If you want to achieve, I'm going to support you to achieve.
That's why when I made a comment about the coordinator of ST, because I have said, whether you're a civil servant, you're a political appointee, you're an assembly member, that time comes when they will say, Operation Show Your Report Card. Operation Show Your Report Card. You cannot run away from it. For us in FCT, let the residents of FCT call us and say, come and show your report card. Come and tell us what you have done. We are prepared any day, any time to say, look, the people of Abuja, this is what we have done. It's not about liking our faces. You don't need to like our faces. We didn't come here for a beauty contest. We came here to work, and we're going to work. So everybody, time will come. You know, when a father pays his children's school fees, he's expecting that at the end of the semester or term, the child or the children will say, Papa, I passed. If the father says, come, John, our semester not ended, as the term don't end, what's the result? Then the child starts scratching. The man will say, my brother, it's like I'm just wasting all my money. So everything has time for you to give your report card. We are ready in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night to give our report card. So I thank you. And the company, Centraco, you are one of the big companies. Yesterday, somebody came to me to say that they were in a meeting, and some people were saying that FCT is winning, and some people say it's not correct. I have said it. Our policy is that you had when the ES said here that this contract was awarded in March. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have allowed it. It was the former ES. And I said, don't bring project where you don't have the money. If a government awards a project and does not carry that project, it's a problem for the government. Forget about people lobbying you. Award it first. If you award it and you keep the hope of the people hanging without the job being done, the way you receive abuses, that you never allowed it the way it was, that coming to worsen the situation. I still know we're doing this job now because the fund was not available. And I said, look, I don't want to do something that the contractor will not be happy. I will not do that. So all those who carry campaign that they are not paid, I've told them, come and show where we awarded the contract to you and we did not pay you. But if it is this civil servant contract, where they go and award for 5 billion at my back, and then carry debt of 2015 bill, I will not pay. If you like, go and block everywhere. Some people say, oh, people will demonstrate. I say, what is democracy all about? Democracy is about protest, about demonstration. There's nowhere you can have democracy. People will not protest. Then something is wrong somewhere. You don't protest under the military because you are likely to be shot. But under democracy, protest is allowed. So if you like, go and organize yourself, something I know that is not correct. If you like, cry from morning to night. Call whatever name you want to call me. Put my name in the internet. Say anything you want to say. Fa. I will not. I will not. I will not. I'm not one of those you would think that blackmail will change me. My skin is so thick, so strong. So strong. As a politician, you should know that these are things you will see. Why are you worried? No politician who's a strong politician will think that people will not say something against him. Then you go and sleep, go and rest, you don't need to come. The day I said I'm a politician, I know I'm now up. People will ask, people will say all kinds of things. So, for me, say it. The only way I will be worried is that if my appointer is not satisfied with what I'm doing, then I'll be worried. But that you go somewhere and just because we are not doing what you want, and then you think by blackmail it will make us to do it, we will not do it. So, civil servants who are here, if you know those are people you're organizing, call them back. Tell them that it's like the two won't work. Because I know it will not work. It will not work. I mean, look at the country where you're a minister and people are signing contracts to the tune of 19-20 billion. And then someone comes and says, oh, you are owing us. I determine what is the priority. I, representing Mr. President, determine what is the priority. You cannot determine for us what's the priority. You cannot. I know what the people need. And that's why we're here to flag of road. It's not every day you put computer. There are day you put somebody. There are day you put somebody. That is not the need of our people. Our people need hospitals. Our people need schools. Our people need good roads. So I have never said I want to be one of those that are liked. No, I don't want anybody to like.
Nuisance, Lele.
Sorry that you had to listen to all of that. I wanted you to, because that is one nuisance that is holding political office in Nigeria. To start with, Wikes was saying that those who are carrying placards protesting that their money was not paid, like the ministry is owing them. They did a job and they have not been paid. And Wikes was like, no. Anybody who wanted to award, so anyone who awarded contract without having money, it's not my responsibility. Then he went on, like in his usual manner, to attack the people by questioning their credibility, which is what he does, now, with a Wikes. Like, oh, how could somebody award a contract of 19 billion and then you come back later and say they are owing us? Pretty much saying that they went on to go and inflate the contract, right? And they wanted him to pay them that money. Not like they didn't do the job, but he didn't say they didn't do the job. Because not less like, it's not my business. If you are given a contract, right, and the government didn't have money then, and you didn't ask for your money, that's not my responsibility. But the same guy is the guy that spent 21 billion naira in renovating and being a completion of vice president's house that remained unused. Is the guy who spent 39 billion naira renovating event hall, right? Is the same guy, right, who is building over 100 kind of like mansions for judges as we speak. And to him, these are the things that our people need. You won't see Wikes undergoing what they call the low-cost housing project for the people of Abuja. As much as they is busy grabbing their lands left, right, and center. But you won't see Wikes undergoing, or his ministry undergoing a massive school project across Abuja. You won't see that. Or even the healthcare part, local clinics, and the rest. No, it's about roads, and buildings for public officials, roads, more roads. And then when he wants to probably make himself look like he's mixing it up, then he'll build them borehole as water projects. There's so much going on around there, but somehow he's getting enough, media kind of coverage from the Ronokus, especially. They said he is a very good spender, like a free spender. That's with the wiki. Oh, talking about land grabbing, by the way, right? From where will the wiki come from? He also has the history or the track record of grabbing lands too when he was their governor. So right now, the situation of land grabbers, illegal land grabbers in Rivers State has become a statewide catastrophe, like a problem. So the newly selected local government chairman in Rivers State, two of them, well, many of them were seen, but two out of them, right, complained bitterly over how some politically backed criminals are stealing their lands, and as government, they seem to be powerless, like they don't even know what to do. In this series of clips, the first one is HA, local government chairman, who complained so bitterly. As an elderly man, he looked elderly, by the way, that his father told him the history of the land. Today, land grabbers have taken almost everything and sold them off. A crisis that is brewing in the States. Remember, Wiki was from there. And in fact, he is the #1 land grabber in the history of Rivers State. I didn't say that. Ask the Rivers people. They have their own sad personal experiences for those who have had to lose their own inheritance to the likes of Wiki.
Let the truth be said or told. My father told me, say, from here to there, this is our land, inherited by our forefathers. All the so-called land grabbers that are more worse. If there could be a word called Worcester, I could have used it. But there's no word called Worcester. But this so-called land grabbers, second Boko Haram, haven't looked at their communities where they come from. They came from various communities. They couldn't exhibit that cut order this, cut order that, and those giving that order are not from a chair. They came from a local government. Yes, that's correct. They want to exhibit that cut order 1, cut order 2 or 3. A chair people haven't gotten their mandate, their vote. I was duly elected by 19 wards of chair local government. Let me send a warning to them. I don't know their names. Then they mention one name using our voice. Some of our boys don't cut the chair. You clean your own chair. A chair not be so. A chair not be so. A chair not be so. That is the origin of the land. Every power of land dispute is hereby directed to a local government council, and I will supersede and supervise. No land, nobody should bring any dredger, any bulldozer, any whatever to any land in a chair land, saying that they buy court order from Ward 1 to 19 that say they brought court order with the police, army. Call the office of the chairman of the chair local government. My number is this. Let me 080-371-834-71. Call me. I will use that cry and knock the whole chair, and the chair will follow me. You should kill me and kill others. And they cannot operate at the atmosphere of crisis. Thank you and God bless you.
Yeah. Did you see how he's hyperventilating about a land matter? And they said that, I don't mean to, no pun intended though. They said that the queries and the land grabbing, they're like 5 and 6. But if you are an Equere watching this, right? No pun intended. Because usually when it comes to land grabbers, right? Their first victims are mostly their supposed closest people. So land grabbing starts locally, then it expands and it expands and it becomes a cartel. That's what I learned about land grabbers. They are mostly people from the locality, and they do that within the locality, fight everybody in there. And once there is no more land to grab in their locality, they go to the next one, and they can put up a series of armies, to help them do this. They work with the police, they work with courts. Yeah, Nigerian courts. How you say? In Obiakpo local government area, where Wike is also from, yeah, it is the similar story. And in fact, the Obiakpo local government chairman, yeah, the one they selected, the sole administrator put in place, right? Is also there ranting. Listen to it, his own rant.
If care is not taken, and if we don't stand up all together to fight it, we'll start hearing that community A is at war with community B. We're almost there. And what is more annoying is that people disguise under real estate companies. For crying out loud, our people, Obiakpo people, Ikwere people, we are one of the most hospitable and generous people on earth that I've seen. If it were not so, we will not give up the vast land on which Investor Politico is standing. We will not give up the land on which Politico is standing. I don't consider that Politico an insult. It's an insult.
See? Even the Equatorial people are tired of land grabbers among them. And they believe that something has to be done before communities begin to attack communities for land. That one is already happening in between the Shekiri and the Yorubas, especially in Delta states, where they have record of series of attacks on themselves. Land grabbers, land. Somebody said, why are they all shouting? Baba, you don't understand. They took my land. Yeah, in my own hometown. But Ronokus used to mock me. They would say, no wonder they took his land. Very useless boy. Yeah, they took my land. And the people that took my land were people that were like, the elderly people that I grew up knowing. Those ones that used to call me Ajokotagba. Ajokotagba Majukwe Ronche. You know what that means, right? Those little kids that barely understands anything, but next to the elderly people. So they don't usually send them because you can't really send them any around. So they used to call me that. Ajokotagba Majukwe Ronche. Those are the people, elderly people. Should be probably my grandfathers. Yeah, they were the ones. They got a court order. That's what they did. They got court orders, right? And they said that, the person who sold the land to me, who is also very much known, we all grew up in the same community, right? That he didn't have the right to sell the land. Guess what? They are both families. Not like two different families. They are the same people of the same family. So these ones are like, my brother who sold the land shouldn't have. I said, then go and meet your brother and collect the money from your brother. He said, no, I should be the one to go and meet the person who sold it to me. So they are like, in the same town, we're all from here. But I don't be small thing though. Then I became angry. I had made video, but I didn't make my own video because I made video too. So my mom was buried on the land. What were they thinking? They want me to exhume her body, to go and rebury her somewhere else. Like really? In my own hometown? Hey, could be funny. Oh. So I made a video and I said, well, you know what, guys, please leave my land. I'm not fighting you. I am not arguing, and I'm not going to. Or it's because that's where I was being nice. That's where I buried my mom, and I hope you are not going to put me through that trauma again and all that. But for any reason, because I do know you guys too, that my own, when I was growing up, right, my grandfather used to tell me that I should never fight over land. You know, I don't know how many of you were told that, right? That don't fight people because of land, though. They will kill you. They will just kill you because, you know, and all that stuff. So, but somehow I wasn't thinking that, like, they will kill me or anything, no? I was just like, well, I guess if you try it and all that, so I just want to say that if you sell my land, basically if I didn't remove my mom's, grave from the land, what they would do is that they sell the land, right? So when the person is constructing his fence and it gets to where my mom's grave is, what they have to do is just, hang on, where's my, okay. So like that. So it's like, when they get here, they will just bend the fence like this and continue. So my mom's grave can just be hidden somewhere, like a forgotten something, and that triggered me. Like it actually triggered me, took me to this dark place that I had to like express the way I felt. I was feeling there, right? I would probably be screaming, yeah, right. But I didn't scream. I just said that if they succeed in selling the land, no wahala, they should just not finish the money. You know what I mean? Like, their children will need the money, whatever amount they collected for my land. I don't know if it worked or not. So they left me alone somehow. So people that are land grabbers, they are mostly people who are closer to you too. Maybe not directly, but somehow, you know, they have the idea of what they can do and get, who they will do it with and get away with it. And they can try it with anybody. Nobody is too big or too small. Like, you know, that is how much they are in that place. The audacity, you know, that you would expect that, oh, yeah, maybe if I report them to the police. Yeah, report them to the police. And the police will arrest them, right? And then a few months after, they are back on the street. This time, they have become like immune to whatever law you want to push, because by then they've known the judges or extra judges that they should know. And you'll be surprised that you become the defendant instead of the person that is suing. That's how corrupt the entire place has sort of like become. Fayoshe's brother Isaac said he's got an estate in Abuja, right? And for the past 3 years, his own tenants have refused to pay. He's used all kinds of threats, what have you, to get them to pay. No. The next thing he saw was that these tenants who haven't paid for 3 years, they approached the court in Nigeria and accused him of a threat to life, that is threatening their life. And they want the court to do something. What about the rent? Like, what are you doing? You're not going to pay? No, you are threatening our life. Our life is in danger. And they took him to court. And just like me, he was calm, telling us the story.
Early morning today, I'm in court, Abuja zone 6. I'm in court because my tenants, they took me to court that I am threatening their life. Threat to life. For nothing where I no do. They've been living in my house, over 25 of them, living in the estate for the past 3 years. They are owing rents of 287 million. Imagine almost 24 flats a restaurant owing that much in a prime area in Abuja. 3 years they've been hiding in court. And because our judiciary is weak, they are getting away with everything. So they are getting their adjournment. And even me, we, the owner of the house, we have spent nothing less than 48 million in different court cases with tenants, about 5 different courts for the past 3 years. How many lawyers will I have? Appearance fee, solicitor fee, this fee, service fee. Can you see how wicked we are in Africa? We blame our leaders. Those people, imagine this estate, if that is what I'm using to feed my family, you sure say I no go don't get stroke? Ah, God, Mutaka Oshidano. The system doesn't encourage investors to come in. The system in Nigeria chase away investors. And it's not only Tinubu, our judiciary too, they are helping matters. SAN, lawyers, they are helping matters. Everybody join in the problem we are having in our country. Imagine, for 3 years now, going to 4 years, no rent on 24 flats in a central area in Abuja. Imagine how much rent we've lost. Over 287 million tied down by some wicked Nigerians that they call themselves tenants. Can you see what we go through in this country? Is it good for investment? Can you stay abroad in someone's house for over 3 years and still be dragging him to all the courts in the world? Eniyan nika, ika leniyan. I'm in court now again for another case.
You know, it seems to be like a direct matter, but at the same time complex. You get that now? But what makes it more complex is the fact that you have a country, right, whose judiciary has become so compromised enough that a case will last between tenants and the landlord for 3 years without pay. So any system that his own is just an example, right? You may have your own personal view about him and all that, but it is actually the story. All right. So where criminal politicians, if they ever appear in any court, it is simply because they wanted something to, they wanted to get a legal backing for something so urgent, and they will get that within weeks. That supports their interest. When it comes to like running the country, your judiciary is very crucial because they have to be there to deal with maybe you have domestic violence, child abuse, police assault, police, criminality, what else? Like just anything that could pop up every day. You want justice and to put the society on the sort of like in order. You need the law, the people that interpret the law, judiciary. You don't even care whether you are big or small. You are rich or poor, it doesn't matter. Before the law, they are there to put everybody in their place according to the law. But when you have a society where criminals are getting judgment from different courts, as long as they have something to give back to, which they always do. Like they always have something to give back for that compromised system. You see judges who are multi-billionaires. It looks normal, but it's not. It is not. So at the end of the day, you have Nigeria. That's the society you have. That's what they have made the country. I think it was this morning, I shared a video where their policemen were chasing a car to collect bribe, of course, right? And then the car probably made a turn that they couldn't make right away. And then they started reversing to chase the car, the police. But fair enough, they were not shooting. I have seen police chase in Nigeria, not because they are chasing criminals, not because they are chasing armed robbers or chasing kidnappers. They are chasing civilians to collect bribes. And they've chased some to their death, where high-speed chase in very terrible, terrible road, but somehow densely populated areas, they will be shooting until some of them crashed. Not only killing them, the occupants, but killing even the passerbys. I've seen many of that. It is even very much rampant in Edo State, Delta State. See these two. If you go online and search, they are likely going to make the top 10 of where the incidents that happen in these two states in Nigeria. Policemen. But this one, I think, beats them all. Nigerian police, they reverse to chase a car. Did you see that? They were ready to risk it all. The reverse was to reverse into the car, smash it, and possibly make it lose balance, and they will come down and rob them. Those are not kidnappers trying to kidnap somebody. They are Nigerian policemen. The occupants, one of them had to make the video. And it happened in Lagos. Yeah. It's just so unreal. Some of the things that they managed to capture on camera that ended up on the social media for you to see, analyze, and understand the mindset of the individuals that are walking the streets of that country, from their leaders to the law enforcement officers, to the judiciary, and to the citizens themselves. The pervading irresponsibility, carefree, carelessness, self-greed, self-centeredness, and name it, is so, yeah. But let's stay in Lagos just for a little while, because it rained in Lagos, I think, overnight. And when they woke this morning, areas like, Lekki, Admiralty, practically, I think, a VI, and then you come to Okota, all those axes, they've been flooded. Same problems, decades on, still no solution. Supposed eyebrow areas. Remember the last time when one of the government officials in Lagos said, those who are digging their own boreholes in Lekki, they are possibly drinking shit water. Remember that time? Well, small rain everywhere becomes, and not just at the streets. I'm talking about real flooding that sometimes they have to use their speedboats on the street just to get by. And this is regular. Like, they still couldn't find the solution to it. Eyebrow area, supposed porch areas in Lagos. Here.
Yeah, see water. Flood, man. Flood. It went from Ologolo, Lekki, flood. Everywhere is flooded. See flood, oh. Flood, oh.
See water.
What is it? What is it? Chama o no mi ni. Oya gba. Give her. Oya gba. You know, second. You know.
Water everywhere. And you can easily tell why. They will continue to have that constant flooding. Okay. You will see blocked channels across all these fancy estates in Lagos. And not until they are flooded like this, and then they make the news, then that will be the time you see the government come out. They want to do something. And guess what they normally do? They will demolish properties, do all of that, probably like clear the channel. And these channels are just mere, like, you know, how do you call that thing again? Like, you know, the swamp, sort of swamp passage that would then lead to God knows where they wanted the water to end, and probably the ocean. So there is no real, you know, proper concrete channeling of this water. I haven't seen any, but I have seen across Lagos State where they have all these dirty, stinking, stagnant water swamps as channels that people have built houses close to them. And most of the time, these channels are all kind of like overgrown with weeds, bushes, and of course, litters where people dump their own beans and all that, right? Dump them in the rain water or so to block these channels more. But ordinarily, you would think a state that has this kind of flooding problem and all that, right, would have decided to construct their water channels, all these channels that would take all the water away from all these places. That, yeah, there may be a little bit of a flooding, right? But few hours after the rain stops, the water would, just find its level and leave the city. I think. I'm not an engineer, but I don't think that's something that should be hard for engineers and town planners who also have the authority as government to plan all these things. Like I said, every now and then we see Wahabi, wole, right? Doing what some would say should have been done years ago, but needed to be done now. Usually it's just all this fire brigade approach. Let them see us doing something. Let's make it look like we're doing something. That's the way I see it. I haven't really seen a real, fix it approach, like a real solution that is not just being talked about, but actually being done. They've got the resources, man, right? And most of them have properties in these eyebrow areas in Lagos, right? So why is that so difficult? Because they don't care. They don't. It is similar to those who are stealing your money, meant for road construction, meant for infrastructural development and all that. They steal the money, right? Deny you the access to these supposed needed infrastructures to better your lives. But in the process, they are also denying themselves. When they construct terrible roads, they are not going to be walking on the sky all the time. They are going to end up having to travel the same road themselves, even in their most expensive automobiles. So that is how you get to see the mind of the rogues in charge of the government. Their priorities are mostly personal, and theirs comes first than before yours, if yours ever comes at all. Unfortunately, too much water and there's none to drink. There's a song around that. So much water everywhere, there's none to drink, kind of, right? Water everywhere, not even want to quench a fire. Like we saw in Ogun State yesterday, right? When the firefighter showed up, it was too late.
After the mother is joker, any show Ali Asiri. Evan below.
You get that now? So some were saying that, but at least they came. They were saying that depends on when the call was put through to them. So did they call them when the fire started? And if they did, what about the road, the state of your road? Do you have any special route for the firemen? Or do you have that discipline on your roads that Okadas and the rest of them, once they hear a fire engine blasting or blaring from their behind, they can easily just give way and let this emergency vehicle pass through? At least all those things you see in the movies, they are real. Yeah, where you see that police will be chasing people, or they are going somewhere and they could go through the traffic and the rest of that. They are real. Everybody will know. Once you hear that siren and you are not the one they are coming for, you just give way. And most of the time, you leave your right side for them. It's in the UK. Just move to the side and then they can pass. And if it's a busy road, where you have 2-lane cars, right? Then everybody just move to their left and right and create a space in the middle for this emergency or police vehicle to pass. I'm not giving excuses for them. I'm just saying that sometimes maybe if you have a real government and then the rest of you have been, subjected to a system that everybody needs a role to play, or everybody has a role to play in that sense. But that happened. So back to Lagos, where Wahabi Wole Wole, again, is doing what he called the preventive measure from having this constant flooding in Lagos. Illegal structures being mounted everywhere, both in the middle of the road, the side of the roads, and everywhere. Same thing in that Lekki area that got flooded earlier. Wahabi and his crew, they were there.
Take your wounds this.
Where's your medical?
Those boys say we say their occupation na to smoke when they cut hair. Now I don't know where they dey again. The only work wey dem get to do for their life smoke. Now time for work don reach dem, we don't see them again. No, this one I get smoke.
Ẹ bá yà ìyàwó mi ní ojú ní ọjọ́ lọlé.
Òun mi kí bọ̀ yìí lọ, Ọlọ́run bá gbọ́.
They go demolish and what you say not coming. But please for them,
I know it.
So that was few days before this flood of, I don't even know if I should call it a flash flood. Because, yeah, that was days ago, prior to this. Now, maybe it is not all gloom and doom, except for the propaganda that is much like the driving factor of whatever data these guys put out there. According to Kolu, and their latest report. Inflation in Nigeria is dropping. It has now reduced to 20 point something %. And they believe that the cost of living is also reducing, even though people still groaning and you get. They said they have made more money compared to what it was in 2023. In one of their Meet the Press sort of presentation today, the guy who is the tax man, Okolu Adedeji, said in 2023, when Kolu came, around the same period, talking about at the end of the second quarter, end of second quarter means end of June 2023, the revenue generated by FIRS from all front and review was somewhere around 766 billion naira. Compared to what it is in 2025, under the same period, where they have now generated over 3.7 trillion naira in a space of 8 months, meaning they have managed to squeeze you of more money. But before we even get to that, I mean, considering the state of the country, the economy itself, right, where the guys are bragging of taxing you to make more money. However, the value of the money itself, 700 billion in 2023, sounds small compared to now. But in value, it's pretty much more than that 3 trillion that they're happy about today under a different circumstance or different circumstances. Now, let's take a look at what they have generated and what they intend, because their plan is that by the time the tax law becomes effective in January 2026, they intend to actually generate more, because with this over 500% increase in the space of 2 years, that means Nigeria is getting better. Nigeria is growing. And in that sense, they reported that Nigeria's economy is growing by over 4.1%. That's on paper far more than what it was under Bokwari on paper. But they are proud of their achievement, because to them, the way it is going with this more money, right, they are going to meet the target of not only reducing the inflation in the country down to 15%, right, they will also grow the economy by 6%, a very positive thing to see on paper. But their own selling point is, if you think it is just on paper, give it time, right? People will feel it. But now let me explain something to you that most economists will likely not agree. Well, I am a layman. I am not an economist. Okay? So, Tinubu and this gang, right, who strongly believes that they have, what do you call it? They have so much money raised in this, and their plan. Also have what you can call the most indebted regime, who have managed, right, to doctor their data so well, right, that, they are listing debt as part of revenue. You know what I mean? They are making so much money, according to them, which ordinarily should, by any means, reduce their borrowings. Because the reasons why what they called on paper will still get back to you, you're going to feel it later, right? It's simply because there's so much mismatch. But let me say this, what they called, you will see it or you feel it later, is that, when they came in, okay, a liter of petroleum was officially somewhere around 170 naira. So were so many other things that later skyrocketed when they removed the subsidy. They went borrowing, they valued Nigeria Naira, and everything happened so fast that the economy or your economy received the worst shock that you are yet to recover from. So what you will feel later is that, now that you are buying a liter of petroleum for 800 or 900 naira per liter, right? A bag of rice for 80,000 and all that, right? So if you begin to buy a bag of rice, for example, for 65,000 naira, to them, that's great achievement. If a dollar is now exchanged for 1,200 naira, that's economy is recovering. Like you are feeling it now, Abi. So forgetting the fact that it was somewhere that you considered very tough back then, and they promised to probably reduce your burden, but now they are like bombarding you with economic jargons to make you accept the current reality that you are not going back to that one. If you get any little bit lower than what you have now, you should be grateful. In fact, you should begin to line the street to say thank you to these guys. This is their own is getting better. You will never go back to what you thought was tough back then until you get into this one, right? Before you got to this one, right? That's what they mean by getting better. Now, making so much money in this sense, for example, as Adedeji put it, making so much money now is meant to probably show that Nigerians are willingly paying more taxes. And in that sense, IMF or World Bank conditions, which is the base of your economic policy of Tifnumbu, should begin to be untangled. No, they are still queuing up for over $21 billion, the loan they put forward for this year to next year. And then you're like, but you are projecting to be making more money from this. Shouldn't that? No. The conditions for these loans is that they have to tax you more and to assure them that they have the capacity to pay whatever loan they want to give to them. Now, it's already packaged, done, delivered. They are waiting for implementation. So they are addressing the people to, on the one hand, tell them that the policy of Tifnumbu and other is kind of like stabilizing the economy and blah, blah, blah. They're making more money. Look how much money we make. And that will sound so great to you, especially if you are jobless and you've never really paid a dime. They've never squeezed you of a penny that they ended up having to, spend on themselves. But here was Adedeji when he was addressing the press, among others from Tifnumbu's camp.
If I just do a snapshot of a month, because this is not total, I just pick a month, which is comparable month. In May 2023, which is the first month that we have, how much did we collect from NNPC that month? You will see it's nil, negative. Even as at then, we were owing NNPC subsidy payments and many other payments they said they've done and have. And that is what you see when I say negative outflow. It's just that I don't want to put how much, as at that time, we are owing NNPC, including traders that are bringing in products that we are being subsidized. And that is why we cannot thank the President enough for that courage to actually put us on a sustainable path that can actually lead to development. If you look at UPRC, which is royalty collection, you will see that it's 125 billion. In September, it is 745 billion. The increase is roughly 500. And that is oil production increase that I mentioned when I was giving you. I'm putting figure. And why this one is important, most especially for us here, is to understand. I will not say people should not do politics or being political, but for you, that you have it as a duty to actually educate people to know that we are here just to a little bit more than 2 years, and the decision that we've taken rightly, this is the result. If you look at oil, which is tax, you see the increase. But when you look at the total accretion to federation as at May 2023 is 711 billion. That is what we need. As of September, which is last month, you see the total accretion is 3.6 trillion. That is increase of 411%, which is just as a result of the economic reform decision that Mr. President has taken. And then when you look at this, you will say, oh, how, what happened? And that is what you hear. Whether you are in state government and everything, go check. I was Commissioner of Finance before. They used to come to Abuja to say bailout for them to be able to pay salary, not infrastructure. I don't know, you are the one writing paper and everything. How many of these state governors have you heard that they even come for bailout, even loan? Because if you look at this one, there is no state government, including federal government, that are not collecting more than double of what we've had.
No, that's the performative thing they have to put out. And you just sit down there and be like, okay. And then when you say, okay, where is the money now? They will tell you to go and ask your governor. Go and hold your local government responsible and all that stuff. So next year, they are looking forward to making more. The non-oil sector in that graph, when you consider all the money they put in that graph, you realize how declined Nigeria has been in the last 2 years of Tifnumbu. Because all you have to do is just say, okay, how much is 3 trillion naira today? That is $2 billion. Yeah, that's how you are going to understand this, okay? This is how much they now make from oil, from tax, from this, from that. All right? 3.3 trillion. So that's practically like $2.1 billion or $2.2 billion. Then when you go back to the time they made 745 billion, as it's quoted in that video you just watched, a dollar was 420 naira to $1. So do you know how many 420 naira you are going to see in 745 billion? Let's do the math, roughly. All right. So let's say $420 million. No, sorry. $1 million would be like 420 million naira. Abi. $1 billion would be 420 billion naira. Abi. So 40 billion. 420 billion. Again, that would be 2 billion. So that would be like 840 billion naira will make 2 billion. Okay. And then you remove the difference, right? So roughly I'll say $1.7 billion. Okay. So that's the difference. 2.2, that's $500 million difference from the devalued naira. So imagine if naira wasn't devalued the way they did. 3.3 trillion naira could have been somewhere around $6 billion. Just saying. Anyway, that is their progress. the one that they've squeezed you off, so to say. But, okay, no wonder they needed more $1 billion. That won't be enough. Their budget is 50 trillion naira. So 50 trillion, which is right somewhere around 28 billion dollars. So that's why they will need to borrow more. Now that is clearer. Which kind of democracy be this? Professor Wakunda, somebody want to say something?
I cannot bring my friends and make them minister PASA. No. All my ministers must come from the parliament. We are all elected together. You understand? So I can now president can appoint 48 ministers from anywhere.
That's the current system.
That's the current system. But parliament system, you are in parliament. The prime minister is in parliament every week. He's a bona fide member. Now you have someone named, they put the bill there. Now you have someone, the president come and talk to him. If you don't someone, he will not come.
You're talking about what we have in the UK.
And what you have in the UK, the prime minister, who is the head of government, is in parliament every week. Any question coming about military affairs, about better edu, about anything, you ask him point blank, televised.
What differences will that make to the one we have now?
Accountability, implicit that you can be questioned. But this presidential system, CFR, FSR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, everything, you just put yourself in the villa and you don't come out. You travel, you don't hand over to anybody.
Do you think that the president is going to, because he said he should emanate from the executive.
Yeah, it's better.
Do you think that the president will want to put together that kind of a bill and send it to the House?
We have the draft already. We have the draft already. It's nothing. It's not. We have that. It's just for him to agree that I want to be a statesman, and I want to really change the course of Nigeria for the better. And all we have been doing 1999, we are just pretentious that we are united, we are strong, that we are rich. We are no longer rich, we are poor. We are indebted. All the food that we are selling now is to pay for the loan that have been taken. So we don't even have money for again, we are borrowing money. Isn't it? So we are pretending that we are rich, where we are poor. We are pretending that we are united, where we are not united. Katsina is already allegiance to some boundaries. They are not even Nigerian again. Land of Nigeria. So many things are wrong. But this thing I'm saying now, President will blow the temperature of the country. Because we have been doing the same thing over and over for 25 years.
And it doesn't seem to be working.
It doesn't seem to be working.
And okay, and for you, resurrect, so to say, the 63 Constitution, that's what you're saying.
No, it's just a template. No, it's
a template. Then you work from there.
And then we now know we have 6 geopolitical zones. We won't call the region, we just say geopolitical zones, 6 zones. And let each zone be codified into their own laws in which they want to govern themselves. And then have reciprocal rights across regions. Right. Have control of your resources, respect one another. Indigenship is a red herring. It will
we'll leave it there.
Big problems.
We'll leave it. We'll leave it.
Did I say more? We pretend to be rich when we are poor. We pretend to be united when we are not. But respecting one another is going to be the beginning of that united or unity that they're talking about. Let everybody govern themselves. For a start, if you are so afraid of breaking up the contraption, at least let the people that are trapped in it be given a choice if they want to be part of this arrangement or a different one. Kind of. So the people of, there's a community in Kwara State, by the way, right? It's called, there are 2 communities, all right, who have decided to take their destinies into their own hand before they begin to run away from their communities because of the Fulani terrorists. So what happened? These 2 communities, Iyamoye and Ekiri. I don't know if I pronounced that right, so pardon me if I didn't, right? So they had this encounter with the Fulani herdsmen. These ones are different from the Fulani terrorists. We all believe that these ones are those who gives the first-hand information about these communities to the armed terrorists. Because whenever it's time for these terrorists to attack any community, suddenly the Fulani herdsmen that are known in the community for a long time will suddenly just disappear. You won't see them again. Then afterward, it will be all hell let loose. And these ones are not taking the chances. So this happened. So there was no violence, or have you reported? So they were escorting them out of their communities and said, no, we don't want. Several other communities in Kwara South have suffered greatly in the hands of these armed Fulani terrorists, enough to spread the fear of seeing the cows and the Fulani herdsmen in this time. So many other communities have decided to even take their own destinies into their own hands by arming themselves in protecting themselves against a possible invasion, the state of Nigeria, unfortunately. My time is up, and do you think we should take calls tonight? Maybe one or two. I mean, I wanted to keep it on so that the number won't really be a burden, as long as we want to, like, yeah, let's take calls. Would you want us to? Okay. So what we're going to do then is that I'm going to take a short break. Okay. Just a minute or two, stretch my leg, right? Then come back and see if we can take one or two. But do me this favor, right? Before, if you have to leave, like the broadcast if you haven't already. Or if you have, thank you for being with us so far. I will be back in a minute or two, and then we can talk.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ láwọn tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun dáyàrí náà ibi ló bá wọn. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun dáyàrí náà ibi ló bá wọn. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun dáyàrí náà ibi ló bá wọn. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun dáyàrí náà ibi ló bá wọn. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dáyàrí náà ibi ló bá wọn. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun dáyàrí náà ibi ló bá wọn. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun dáyàrí náà ibi ló bá wọn. Maiyegun dáyàrí Politico. Maiyegun dáyàrí náà ibi ló bá wọn. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun dáyàrí náà ibi ló bá wọn. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. kí gómìnà gbówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. òkúrọ̀ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran òun. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran. tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lé ibo níṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.